right?
Yeah.
We're the
Good
late
morning.
version of Good Morning America.
We are. Thank God for that. We get to sleep in.
Nope, we're not. We are
Oh,
not.
we're not? Oh, okay.
That might be a struck comment.
That might be struck, so we might have to
So
strike
I've
that out.
Really ruined everything.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another day of the Cinematography for Actors podcast. We are going to just do a little bit of an opening before we get ready for these, I don't know, maybe dozen interviews we have today. We're doing 65 over the course of the festival, and this is something we did really well yesterday, and we're just going to keep getting better at. I have with me Haley Royal,
Hi.
actor and founder of Cinematography for Actors. I have Brianna Wing, actor and founder of Cinematography for Actors, and myself, Indiana Underhill, not actor, but founder. I'm a DP, cinematographer. And I'm going to push out a film I have on the 17th at, I believe, 5 p.m. called Terry that everyone should go watch. Hi, everyone. Hi, my team.
This is so great.
I know.
You guys, let's talk a little more about Terry, actually, because that was like, yeah, I did a film, but you both worked on
We
that.
did.
That's a good point.
And
actually.
Jack.
Yeah.
Three
Jack
of
was
yeah,
emotional
three
support
of
was not on set. Yeah.
3 of 4 Cinematography for Actors folks.
Yeah. And we can
We're
talk about
worked
it
on
because it's not a
Terry.
struck project.
It's not a struck
Yeah.
project. It's
It is
in the
part of-
competition.
Yeah.
It's a selected film.
As a short film agreement.
And
Yeah.
you
As a
actually
contract.
have a technical story. We might
I
as
have
well
many.
talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, Terry's really funny because that is where another reason why we started Cinematography for Actors was justified. Cinematography for Actors is all about bridging the gap between talent and crew. It started more as like, how do we teach actors the technical and make a more confident actor? And it is still very much that. But it's also now, how do we have the same language on set so that we can tell the same story consistently throughout departments? And Brianna was one of the actors in our film,
Yes,
Terry.
I played Elizabeth,
Yes.
the lead's mother.
And you will not even recognize her.
No.
Slip into that part. Nobody
A real
recognizes
I love that.
chameleon.
I do
That's so
love that.
wonderful. It's in the VFX category, which surprises me because I guess the ending sequence, there's VFX. We composed a 20-foot wingspan, articulating wingspan with like 7 grips on it, like with 2 actors, like one riding another one. Check it out.
Against green screen.
Against green screen.
It's actually beautiful. I love that moment in the
Thank
film.
you.
And for audiences that go see it next Thursday, the 17th, it brings back this feeling of nostalgia from the 80s,
Aw.
from all those movies. I really believe so. And the music and the
Yeah.
VFX and the actors. Yeah.
I know.
love that.
Our director, John Michael Riva Jr., he loves like Hawaii, and so the theme and the soundtrack is very like Hawaiian chill. And he did that with his best friend and composer, Zach Robinson. And so shout out to Zach for creating such an incredible score with him. Back to the festival,
Let's talk about
HollyShorts.
the festival.
How did it go for you guys yesterday, meeting all the filmmakers?
Incredible. Everybody was so excited to be here and talk about their film, and it made me want to watch every single one of them.
I know,
But all the
yeah.
films were so different, too, between narrative horrors and documentaries that took place in the freezing cold. There was such a varied amount of experiences to ask about between casting and technical requirements, or maybe temperatures were too cold that they couldn't even take their GoPros out
Yeah.
safely.
I'm feeling very fortunate that we get to sit here very comfortably, and so many inspiring filmmakers are coming to us to talk to us and tell us about how they did their things. I was so inspired yesterday by the creator of the short film Thaw.
Yeah, right.
They were telling us that they shared everything. They shared their production, their crew, their space, everyone except for actors were the same. They shot 2 stories in 1 week.
They maximized their budget by
Yeah.
developing 2 short films in 1 week with the same locations, redressing them, casting new actors. They swapped out their DPs but had their DPs crew under each other because they were friends and close collaborators. And that's a really interesting way of filmmaking because the director said, Alex Bush said that they would do it again. And you would not hear that a lot of the time because filmmaking is hard and it's a collaborative effort amongst a team, but to get it working so seamlessly as to want to do it again, awesome.
That is the ideal dream in this industry, is working with your friends,
Yeah.
creating something cool, and they did it double.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing. So inspiring.
Bree, what was your biggest takeaway from yesterday?
I really loved hearing about It's Not the Critic Who Counts, because it's
Bill
such a-
Bradley and Ridgely Curry.
Yeah, exactly, about his ultra marathon. I am always fascinated about stories that tell the tale of such a personal struggle, and so when you can capture or maybe not a struggle, but such a personal journey captured on film to elicit an emotion from an audience, I could have kept talking to him about how they shot that.
Yeah, and how failure is not a word to be afraid of.
Yeah.
Because he was talking about how Bill Bradley, who is the executive producer on that and the star, is an ultra marathoner, and he went from Alaska to Michigan, and did 100
the Arrowhead ultra marathon.
and it was 135 miles in the winter, and you have to lug 40 pounds of gear with you, and the camera crew couldn't even get to them at certain parts because it was such isolated backcountry. And so to hear something like that, and his struggle with failure, and how he's like, I'm not afraid of that word anymore. I used to say don't do it, but now I'm like, I get it, you know. And that was incredible. And but it's great to see how inspiring their 6-part series is going to be, because they're halfway through and that's their 3rd film. So I loved meeting Emil and Kieran on, I'm trying to remember, what was the film name about the 2 sisters. I'm gonna have to post it, because I loved meeting them. I think they're such a great duo as collaborators, and their story, they're in the Latinx category. It might, but it's in the Latinx category, and they are just so incredible. I'm wondering if Jack can look that up for us on
He's already
our interviews
on
doing
it.
us, because I really want to promote their film. My apologies. We did a lot of interviews.
Leave until we can tell you the name of this film.
I know. While we're getting the name of that film, what are you excited about today? What do you want to ask more about?
I can't wait to ask more questions about when, you know, a director says cut, what is their first action after that? Who do they go to first? Camera department or talent, or does it change, and why?
Yes.
Yeah. Because that's very important.
Yeah. Haley,
it
what
also changes the way people communicate with each other.
Definitely. I mean, I think if it's a more technical film, sometimes you go and you're like, are you good to reset? But do you go to the actor first to make sure they're safe? Do you go to the camera crew first to be like, are we good to reset? How long is it going to take before I go to my actor and tell them how long they have? And it's like navigating that field of filmmaking that is really down to each person and the relationship they have with the crew. Jack, do we have that name of that film?
I love finding out how people cast, and specifically what they're. I feel like a director's always looking for something different, and I think as an actor that just continues to build my confidence. That in the end, it's like if you're going to do what you can do, someone's probably looking for that.
Yeah,
that's pretty great to hear. And I also want to know what they're learning. What I love finding out what a filmmaker feels like they learned from a project.
Yeah, I wonder if as we get closer to the end of the festival, because we're doing so many of these, if we start to even ask like what kind of connections they've made at this festival at HollyShorts, because this is a festival that is for filmmakers and the audience, but for filmmakers. And what is so incredible about that is that you're hopefully meeting future collaborators, and if not, you're learning from other filmmakers.
We've already run into people we know and that we've seen from other festivals, which is exciting. And
so
reiterates the fact that this is a community.
Exactly.
Just the whole filmmaking community.
Yeah.
I also, if we get some actors and directors, I want to ask them what kind of information was given to the actors before the day of shooting.
Right.
Whether that's, do you share with them the shot list, the schedule for the day?
Yeah.
Any prep in terms of cameras or, camera
setups
department
and
setups.
things like that.
Yeah.
And how early an actor was brought into the collaborative process, and how they feel that either benefited them or maybe did them a disservice.
Yeah,
would be
because
very cool.
Lydia Hooker, who you know from an acting class, was in yesterday
Yeah.
to promote Stoned Breakups.
Stone breakups. Yeah.
And she stars in it, but is also a producer on it. And
She's
you asked her about that.
in multiple episodes as different characters.
Yeah.
But also, produced, just a ton of stuff. Like, she had a list of her
roles.
responsibilities.
And I think that's great, because you were able to ask in that interview, which everyone should check out, what was it like to switch those hats, and how did you kind of come across for communication between those
Right,
departments.
yeah.
We have that
What
name.
is the name?
Exit Fee by Emile Gaillard.
Yes, exit fee.
Fee.
Exit fee I want to push and promote, because not only did I just forget the name Emile and Kieran, who I loved interviewing you, but I think their story and also the way you all work together as a crew was just such an empowering and inspiring way of filmmaking. And as well, carrying that heavy 8K Panavision camera package on your shoulder, 100% handheld in that film with the primos on, I think is something everyone
Wow.
can take away of just like, you know, you're making a film that you believe in when you're willing to carry
When
that amount of
it's
weight.
that heavy.
And
Yeah.
as we wrap up here and get ready to do all of our interviews for today, I just want to say if you missed any of our live streams, you can watch all of our interviews on our YouTube channel,
Yes.
Cinematography for Actors, and also be sure to follow and check out our Instagram at Cinematography for Actors so you can stay up to date with all the latest news, postings, interviews, highlights.
Yeah.
That's a great way to follow us and keep up to date.
And finally, check us out on wherever you listen to your podcasts. We will be posting those out. Bree is working tirelessly, posting those out after every interview. And so keep up to date on there. The easiest way of doing that is following. So thanks all for this. Thanks all
Thanks
for
all.
this.
We're going to have an
Thanks-
exciting
thanks
day
all.
today.
We
Thanks,
are.
Apogee.
Yes.
Thanks.
Roscoe.
Thanks. We make movies.
We make movies. Yeah, First Smile Technologies, Canon. We are
Thanks,
a partner with
everybody.
We Make Movies, and you can use code CFA23 at wemakemovies.org/insurance in order to get 10% off of your quote next time. So we're making filmmaking more accessible for everyone. Thanks all.
Thanks,
Signing off.
everybody.
See you soon.
See you
Bye.
soon.